Years ago, I was in New York and I got these fantastic little crackers on the bar. They had crab spread on them, and I've been trying to replicate the recipe ever since. A little while ago, we got it perfectly right. It's called crab crackers. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cook my lovely crab meat. I'm lucky enough to have a nice big fresh crab today, but I realise that you people at home might not always have that luxury. You could easily use some nice pasteurised crab meat, which you'll find in the supermarket, maybe frozen, just defrost it before you want to use it, about a couple of hours, or you can even, as a last case scenario, use some nice crab meat from a tin. But what I'm going to do with my nice little crab is I'm just going to poach it in a bit of simmering water, and what I've done to the simmering water is I've just added a couple of very simple little vegetables. I've peeled a whole carrot in there, half an onion, a little bit of celery and a leek. That's basically called making a court bouillon. We're just adding a little bit of extra flavour while we cook that crab meat. So he's going to take, I would imagine, 15 to 20 minutes just simmering away, and then we'll be able to prepare them and make those wonderful, wonderful crab crackers. So to start this off, we're going to make a lovely little mix that we're going to combine with the crab meat, and then we'll spread it onto our nice little crispy pastry. So start off with a little bit of cream cheese, and you just want to work that around with the spoon to soften it up. I'm also going to add a nice little sprinkle of curry powder in here, some mayonnaise, that'll keep it nice and moist when we cook it. A little bit of Dijon mustard to give it that little kick, some soy sauce, some fresh thyme leaves, a little bit of paprika just for that little spice, and then to bring the whole mixture together, some panko breadcrumbs, Japanese style breadcrumbs these, and I absolutely love them. You'll find them in any supermarket right beside the regular breadcrumbs. So now we just want to bring that mixture together, and as soon as our crab meat's cooked, we're going to flake it in there. So the crab's been simmering away there, and we're just going to take him off, and we're just going to let him cool down in its own liquor, and that'll take maybe 20 minutes. Once it starts to cool down, I'll show you how we can break it down and get some of the nice meat out of there. So I've let the crab cool down, and we're going to work with it. So I just flip him over, and first of all, we're going to take off that leg, take off the other one. Now what I've got is just the nice legs. We're going to get some great meat out of them. So that bit should break off quite easy. I'll show you that again. Just the claw. There, you can see some meat already. So what I've got is a little bowl, and I'm just going to flake that nice crab meat. So now, the back of my knife, this is pretty much the same process as a lobster. We're just going to smash it like that, and in there, being very careful to not get any little pieces of shell, we're going to come out with lots of nice crab meat. Now that is so fresh. Look at that great meat in there, that's fantastic. Really nice and sweet. Lovely crab meat. So I have that nice cream cheese mix, and I'm going to use the crab that I got out of that lovely fresh crab and mix it in there. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of Tabasco, just to give it that little extra kick, and some salt. These make a really perfect accompaniment to any drink you have in a bar. They're nice and crispy, they've got a little bite, and I think 90% of people really love that sweet taste of the crab meat. So once that's nicely mixed together, we're ready to start spreading it on our spring roll sheets. Now I've got those in the fridge because you don't want to take them out any earlier or else they'll dry up on you. So make sure that they're really very well covered. Now what I have here, it's called a silicone sheet or a sil pad. If you don't have one of those, don't worry, you can use parchment paper, but I really recommend getting one because there's a million different things you can use them for. So straight on to my spring roll pastry, which incidentally you'll find in most supermarkets now. If you can't find it in the supermarket, go to your local little Asian store. It's basically the pastry they use to roll up the spring rolls, and it'll get nice and crispy with this crab meat on top. So using a palette knife, we're just going to spread it out really, really evenly, and try to make it as thin as possible, because the whole idea of this dish is that they're nice and crispy. So that's really come up nicely, evenly distributed, nice and thin, and we're ready to pop it in the oven. So the oven's on a low to medium temperature. In it goes. And those really shouldn't take that long to crispen up at all. After 5 or 6 minutes, we'll flip them over and make sure the other side's just as crispy. Now, there it is. It might not look like much, but believe me, this tastes absolutely incredible. It's really the perfect bar snack. Just break it up. The flavours are absolutely incredible. You've got all those nice little spices in there. Really, really nice crab meat, and it goes perfectly with a beer. Really, really the perfect bar snack.